I just watched the latest batch of episodes of Love is Blind, and I wonder if you watched them, did you also feel like watching Ken and Brittany break up was like being in the middle of a staff meeting? Like, it just felt very professional and impersonal. Brittany goes, no, she doesn't go up to Ken. They're in the kitchen together, and she says, you know, it just doesn't feel like we have that crave. I think that's the word she used. Like, we don't crave each other like I always imagined myself craving my fiance. And Ken is like, well, it's not that we don't crave each other. If it's a problem, that means you don't crave me. The way they interacted was very like, he was a teacher at his school and she got a job somewhere else. And Ken is like, it's fine, you can leave, it's okay. It wasn't personal to him. He seemed a little more detached than I would think someone who was like about to get married would feel to hear their fiance say, this isn't really working for me. You know, if I were to resign from a job, that is exactly how I would want my manager to respond. We love you. We want the best for you. Please stay in touch. Thank you for everything you've done so far. Like, it just felt like, okay, time to pack up your desk. Things are done here. Clay and AD, I'm still rooting for them. So Clay and AD had dinner or lunch or something with his mom and his sister. And in that conversation, AD brought up that she didn't really like how Clay was using his time. Let's say one day he had a late meeting that went well into the evening, and then the next day he had an early morning meeting. AD said he should come home. Even if it's a late night and early morning, he should come home. Clay says that no, logistically it makes more sense because both meetings are, I don't know the cities they were naming, but both meetings are far away from home. I should just stay out there and just have those meetings out there. Like, those are like logistical questions that do demonstrate some value systems, whatever that they have. But I think they're going to figure that out. If they want to, that's not a reason not to get married. Like, they can figure that out. I'm still rooting for them. They are, I think, the only couple that I still have faith in. Yeah, they're the only one. Next up is Chelsea and Jimmy. I am surprised that in this batch of episodes, they have me rooting for Jimmy. Right now, he is the one that makes sense to me. If you saw the episodes, then you know there was a moment. Jimmy and Chelsea are in the kitchen together, and Chelsea is upset. She says, Jimmy, you haven't kissed me today. And he says, yeah, I did. Jimmy, you didn't tell me you love me today. Yeah, I did. Jimmy, you didn't spend all day with me today. And he said, well, I had work, but I saw you right before. And as soon as I was done with work, I went and hung out with you and your friends. So she's like pushing him many times. Just, I need more from you. I need more from you. Everything you give me is not enough. And finally, he's like, and he's going along with it, and he's kind of, you know, responding to each part of it. Like, I thought I did do that. I thought I did do that. I thought I did do that. And then finally he says, being clingy right now. This is too much. And I know clingy is like a 4-letter word to a lot of us, and that hurts. That goes right to the heart for someone to call you clingy. And she starts crying. But when you see the conversation leading up to that moment, it's like, good grief, Chelsea, back off. Like, he's doing his best. That's how I felt. I felt like he was doing his best. But one thing I think this show is really built around that idea of like, I need you constantly. That is how all of these relationships started, where I don't know exactly how long they're in the pods, but let's say they're in there a week or 2 weeks at most. They're already saying, I love you. They're already saying, I want to spend my life with you. And so that's like very intense and unsustainable. The pace of that as a way to start your relationship is unsustainable. And then you get together and it's like, I want you to keep saying that. I want you to be at that same pace, but that is unsustainable. And I feel like Jimmy is not gonna want to deal with that for much longer. I don't see that couple getting married. Jeremy and Laura. If you saw my last video, you already know that I think Laura is the undercover villain of this season, and I still kind of think that. One of the most recent episodes, Laura's parents and her brother and sister-in-law came over to the house to meet Jeremy. And you know, you have a new fiance, you're inviting your family over to meet them. I would think you want to present your fiance in the best light. You want to show your family like, this is who I chose, and he's great. I'm going to show you why I chose him. But instead, Laura, I guess, thinks it's funny. She starts listing all the things that she did not like about Jeremy. She starts telling them how he wears the Hawaiian shirts that she thinks are disgusting, and he's into motorcycles, which she hates. And I thought that was a strange way to introduce a man to your family. Here are all the things that I hate about him. Like, who would do that? What is the point of that? I love that her mom called her on it privately and kind of said, you know, you two kind of speak harshly about each other. And just imagine, in the very, very beginning of your relationship, that's usually like the sweetest time. It's not like, oh, we're mean to each other and we make fun of each other and I talk about you bad in front of my family. And then 5 years from now, we're just doting on each other and just caring for each other in the most sincere way. Like, it doesn't generally go in that order. So this is not a good indication of what's going to happen next. I love, though, that Laura's sister-in-law was there. Laura's sister-in-law, whose name I unfortunately forget, she said, you know, I hear you saying this about Jeremy wearing the Hawaiian shirts, but I want you to know that if my husband said he likes Hawaiian shirts, then I would go out and buy as many of those as I could find and fill his closet with them because they make him happy. And Laura didn't have much to say to that because, yeah, that is mature love. That is not being competitive. That is being compassionate. That is just being loving. And it just became clear when you compare Laura to her sister-in-law that Laura does not know how to, or is not interested, I don't know which one it is, in actually being loving to Jeremy. So then, I don't know, is it a surprise that in a few, I forget if it's that same episode or a little bit later, we find out that Jeremy has had some kind of secret rendezvous with Sarah Ann. And I actually hate that. I do hate that because Jeremy could have been just a straight up good guy and we left it at that. And then we can kind of focus on Laura not being a great partner to him. But now we got to question the whole thing. Jeremy's not doing right. Laura's not doing right. I think it's pretty clear they're not going to make it. If they do end up getting married, then I don't have much faith in the marriage. But I just hope they don't get married. Because like I said, if it's starting out like this, you all, it is not going to end well. The last couple is Johnny and Amy. And I'll be honest, I don't enjoy Johnny and Amy's relationship. I just am not interested in Johnny. I think that's what it is. Because I do really like Amy. Johnny and Amy spent a lot of time talking about the possibility of having children, which I do think could be a little like, okay, we don't have to get to that conversation quite yet, except that they have not been intimate at all because Amy is not on birth control. That's what's come out. And Johnny does not want to have any accidents. And I don't know, you guys, they can do whatever they want to do. Amy seems like she's open to it. If it happens in a year or two, Johnny is certain that there's no way I'm not going to let that happen. But I also know sometimes plans that you have, they change. Sometimes plans change. So whatever, you guys, I don't care for Johnny. I don't care about his storyline. You know, I can't even say that I hope they get married. I don't necessarily think they're a good match, although I did like Amy with his sisters. I thought they were fun. His sisters seemed really nice and they seemed really like fun and that Amy would enjoy them. So I like Amy with his sisters, with Johnny's sisters. I don't really care about Amy with Johnny though. Okay, those are my thoughts on the latest batch of episodes of Love is Blind. Of course, the show knows what they're doing. They put Jessica right in at the end. Didn't get to see Jimmy meet Jessica in person quite yet. So they know they have us hooked. We're tuning in next week when the new batch of episodes comes out. And I'm going to be watching. Yeah, I'll be tuning in next week. That's what I thought, though, of these episodes. Let me know what stood out to you. And what couples do you think are actually going to get married? And which ones would, like, stay married? So far, I'm just rooting for Clay and AD. And the other ones can kick rocks. I don't think they're going to make it. Let me know what you think, though. And I'll either see you down in the comments or my next video. Take care. Bye.